Here, I'm going to share some of my joy with you tonight because I am so upset. And just when I was about to do a whole video on being an advocate and not a vigilante, you know, DCS just never ceases to amaze me. Okay. All right, here we go. Thank you. So if y'all will share, that'd be great. Oh, where'd you go? Okay. So it is, come on, get down. It is Thursday evening. I look horrible because I'm so exhausted and I'm so weary in my face. And, DCS has done it again here in Tennessee. So let me just share with you what has happened. And I'm going to give you the sweeping details because my client is in jail right now. And I really need to get like her approval to tell you specific details. But what I can tell you is this. One more time, the Department of Children's Services went to the judge and got an ex parte order, and this time, they set a hearing for 10 o'clock the next morning, did not serve my client, did not bother to contact me, who is known to be her attorney. Now let me back up, and let me tell you what I did. I called and left a message for the DCS worker at 1 o'clock on Monday. By 2 o'clock, she had an ex parte order for custody in another county and didn't even bother to let me know. And then did not bother to let me know that she had set a hearing for 10 o'clock the next morning. And she did not serve my client. She did not serve the father. And she waltzes into court the next morning and gets another order. And I also want to know this. So I look at this petition that is prepared by and signed by the DCS worker. The petition is not even signed by an attorney. And I am going to go with that one because unless you are an attorney, you cannot file pleadings with the court. And this petition is signed by the DCS worker, not signed by an attorney. And also they went to another county, supposedly because the county judge recused himself. However, when I asked the clerk, where's the order of recusal? She goes, well, there isn't one. I said, well, is it documented any other way in the file? And she said, no, he just told him that when they came in to get the ex parte order. So they went to the judge with a petition that had not been filed, was not signed by an attorney, and the judge sent them to another county, and they got an ex parte order from another county, and then they took that petition back to the court and filed it. Right. No order of recusal. No attorney signature on the petition. Didn't bother to call me, tell me. Didn't bother to call my client. They've been calling her for a week. Didn't bother to call her and tell her. So then on Tuesday morning, they go and have a hearing. Well, we don't know that. We don't know. As a matter of fact, on Monday afternoon, I called the clerk's office. My client called the clerk's office and said, are there any petitions filed on such and such child? No. So late Monday afternoon, I called and they said, or maybe it was Tuesday morning. Maybe Tuesday morning. I called and I said, do you have any petitions filed? And she goes, oh yeah, they came in late Monday afternoon and we'll fax it to you. Guess what? They never faxed it to me. I had to drive 2 hours away to go to the clerk's office and ask for a copy of the petition. And then they wouldn't give it to me. And they said, you haven't entered a notice of appearance. I am her attorney of record in the juvenile court proceeding. Do you get that? I'm her attorney of record. And not only that, 37-1-153 in Tennessee says that the records are open to parents, their attorneys, or their representatives. You don't even have to be an attorney if you're that parent's representative. And they refused to give it to me. And so I hand filled out a freaking notice of appearance, and then she gave me a copy of it. And she goes, oh, are you accepting service for her? Well, wait a minute. Okay, so that's Wednesday at noon. So if the clerk's office is asking me Wednesday at noon if I'm accepting service for my client, how in the hell are they going to present to the court that my client was served for the hearing they had on Tuesday morning. Tell me that. I'd like to know that. So this afternoon, I called the judge's office and I said, I want a hearing. I want a hearing because this child has just been put in foster care. My client's entitled to a 72-hour hearing. And they're like, well, why don't you call DCS and work it out? I go, no, I'm not calling DCS and working it out. They were able to waltz into court and get an ex parte order and get a hearing at 10 o'clock the next morning. I think we should have the same accommodations. And they said, no, 72-hour hearing. It is a law, 72-hour hearing. So I faxed a demand because I'm documenting everything I do. I have recorded phone calls. I have recorded messages that I left for DCS. I have recorded messages I left for the detective. I talked to the detective on Friday and I said, is there anything? I said, my client's not going to talk to you unless I'm present. I said, take me 2 hours to get there. He goes, I'll be gone in 2 hours. And I said, well, then we'll call you early next week and work something out. And I called and I said to him on Friday, I said, is there anything emergent that I need to discuss with my client? And he said, no. That's what he said. And Monday, I called and left him a message again. Did not call me. Well, apparently they took warrants out on my client. After they got an ex parte order, they got a warrant for custodial interference. Now, how do you get a warrant for custodial interference against a parent who's never been served with the ex parte order that you entered to take her children away from her? How do you do that? Right. And then put her on a freaking Amber Alert. Well, you know what? That Amber Alert is a bunch of trash. All it is about the government stealing children. And people need to start ignoring it. I want y'all to know who think that Amber Alert is like something all Christ righteous and everything, that they put my client and her 12-year-old daughter, blasted her all over the internet. Now, wait a minute. How many times do my families out there get in trouble because they put their child on the internet? Huh? How many times do they get in trouble for that? Lots. And here freaking DeKalb County Sheriff's Department puts this child who was ex parte secretly removed. Do you understand that? Secretly removed from this parent without notice. And then I called the DCS worker and I said, how come you didn't even call me? She goes, well, did you enter your notice of appearance? How can I enter a freaking notice of appearance on a petition we don't even know has been filed? I've never heard of anything so ridiculous. Do you understand that? I have an attorney. My client had an attorney in this case. They knew it. The DCS worker, I was like, you didn't serve her. She's like, you know, Miss Reguli, that you are not telling the truth. I'm like, telling the truth about what? And she goes, and I said, tell me how my client got served. Tell me what I'm not telling the truth about. And she refused to tell me. Yeah, I have all these phone conversations recorded. I can't release them until my client gets out of jail, because now she's in jail for custodial interference of a child she didn't know the state had taken custody of. It's ridiculous. I'm so mad. So mad. So, anyway, that's my story. So mad. I even called the regional office of DCS. Talked to somebody there. I left a message for the DCS worker. I left a message for her supervisor. Finally called the regional office. Finally got to talk to a person. I told her what the problem was. She goes, oh, you know what? I have a meeting at 3 o'clock. Of course, DCS always has a meeting they have to go to. She goes, I have a meeting at 3 o'clock, but as soon as we get out of there, I'll give it to the attorney. I go, great. Who's the attorney? And she goes, I think, they don't even know who the attorneys are handling the cases in the regional office. And she goes, I'll find the attorney. I'll walk it to them and get back to you. Of course, nobody got back to me because they already had an ex parte order and they already had a hearing with my client or myself there. So my client gave me Dad's phone number. I called him. You know what? He didn't get served either. He didn't get served either. This is a bunch of trash is what this is. And this is Gestapo. This is donkey justice. Donkey. Do you hear that? Donkey justice. I'm so mad. Well, What I was going to do was take the child and the mom down to Channel 5 News today, because it was all over the news, all over every station. And I didn't get a chance to do it. I was going to take this child down, let her tell the news that she's not an endangered child. She's just with her mom. Not an endangered child. All of you who saw that Amber Alert out there, she's not an endangered child. And there was a cranky teenager in the house who decided he'd rather do drugs than protect his mom and his sister. So that's what this is all about. Bunch of lies, putting a petition, bunch of lies. Never contacted their attorney that they know she had. Lies, lies, lies. I'm so angry. So tomorrow, I've got a letter already prepared. I'm going to fax it. This judge isn't going to give me a 72-hour hearing. I'm going to let everybody know. Fax a letter to the AOC, the Administrative Office of the Courts. I'm going to fax the letter to the attorney's office, or the judge's office. I'm going to fax the letter to the governor's office. I'm going to call the governor's office. I'm going to fax a letter to the, or email a letter to the DCS commissioner. I'm going to file a complaint on this judge if he doesn't get me a hearing, 72-hour hearing, judge. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to enter ex parte orders without notice to the parents. You're not supposed to have hearings without service of process, judge. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, this is, I work in civil courts too. This kind of stuff does not happen in big courts, in real courts. These judges know it. They've been attorneys before. They've practiced law in other courts. They know that. They do this on purpose. They do it on purpose. So now they'll probably try to say I didn't turn her in or something stupid. Well, here's the deal, okay? You can't. As a matter of fact, I called the detective, left him a message. Didn't bother to call me back and tell me my client was going to be arrested. So how was I supposed to know? Supposed to read it in the tarot cards or something? How was I supposed to know there was an ex parte petition against, order against my client? How in the heck are people supposed to be represented in this process? Well, I just had to share the joy with you tonight because there is frustration all over my face. I just can't put that happy face on. Now I know that poor little girl who was scared to death to go into foster care. Who knows where she is tonight? They said somebody said they were going to put her in foster care with her drughead brother who's beat her up before, who's been protected from her brother before. That's where they're going to put her. A child who has a disability, a mom with a disability. That's what we're doing. That's where we are, folks. That's where we are. You better start screaming, because they'll be at your doorstep next. If they haven't already been there. They'll be at your neighbors. They're coming. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for all of them. And you know what? When I walked in that courthouse yesterday, guess what the first thing was I saw on that wall? And I am going to post this. A poster to become a foster parent. Camelot. First thing I saw when I walked in the courthouse, become a foster parent. They're coming for your kids. Coming for your kids, because it's all about the money. It's all about the game for them. They're all gaming. They're all gaming. It's all about for-profit foster care. It's all about getting those adoption bonuses. Now, won't this little girl be valuable? Yeah, she'll be worth about $12,000 to the state. And to some little foster family that decides they want to adopt her, they'll get all those special disability benefits, like another $1,000 a month. They'll get $1,000, get free 10 care. Yeah, she's pretty valuable in the child market. Yeah, young enough to tell her mom doesn't love her anymore. Your mom didn't fight hard enough for you. Your mom doesn't love you. Your mom can't see you. She's a bad person. She can't take care of you. Yeah, it's coming. And it's coming to your neighborhood. It's coming to your house. It's coming to your families, your churches. It's coming. You better be. you better be screaming. You know, I ask you to mail out a few postcards. I ask you to mail out a few postcards to President Trump. You better be screaming at the top of your lungs. You better be participating. We've got about 550 postcards out now. So, you know, we got to do everything we can. This is the cheapest thing I can ask you to do. You need to get to the events. I got a big event planned in Detroit. We got DC coming up. We got to get you states to get organized so we can make a difference. Got to be heard. I can't do it alone. These people, that other advocates in other states, they can't do it alone. They can't do it without you. They need your help. We need your help. I'm going to have some more events. I'm going to have you calling up people. I'm going to have you talking to people. You better do it because they're coming to you. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for your kids' kids. You know, kids who've been through foster care are 10 times more likely to have their children removed. You realize the generation they're creating? You know, we started with broken families, and now we're social engineering our families into foster homes that the government thinks a better parent than you. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening. All right. I'm going to sign off. See ya.